Good morning. This is Pastor Jason of Kona Faith Center with the word for today. And the word for today is imagine. There is a time coming, soon and very soon, when there will be a new heaven and a new earth. I can't imagine what that's going to be like. God will be present with us. From his presence will emanate light. There'll be no need for sun, moon, stars. There'll be no night. The New Jerusalem will be a city 1,500 miles high, 1,500 miles wide, 1,500 miles long. I can't begin to imagine. There'll be no more sorrow, no more crying, no more pain, no more death, because all of the old ways will be gone. This means there'll be no evil, no sin, no lying, no cheating, no greed, no sexual immorality, no murder, no lies. I can't begin to imagine. It will be such a new way of living. I'm going to have to learn how to live all over again. Now, several places in Scripture, it says that we don't even remember the old ways. I can't imagine. And yet, several places in Scripture, it indicates that we will be aware of those who are cast into the lake of fire. I can't begin to imagine. To be eternally separated from everything that is good, holy, satisfying, to be aware that you had an opportunity to be in a place for eternity that is good, holy, and satisfying, to be in his presence. I can't begin to imagine. Because I can't begin to imagine, I haven't really thought about it very much. In studying the history of the church, there's always been a clear message of eternity, both sides of eternity. I kind of used to make fun of the gospel presentation, calling it turn or burn. And I preferred to talk about the goodness of God. I remember somebody left the church because they said I talked too much about sin and not enough about the completed work of Christ. I remember thinking, what the heck are they talking about? I rarely talked about sin. And certainly rarely talked about the severity of God, eternity separated from God, hellfire and damnation. Now, these people were all in on the antinomian message of extreme grace. Believing you're good. You don't need to be transformed. You don't even really need to stop sinning because of the completed work of Christ. My current thinking is that we need to hear both sides. We need to be aware of both sides. They need to be much more front and center than they have been in my life. I find it interesting that in Scripture, more words are used to talk about sin than are used to talk about salvation. More words are used to talk about hellfire and damnation that are very, very real than are used to talk about heaven. My reading of Scripture indicates that more will go into perdition than will go into the New Jerusalem. I can't begin to imagine. I know that people can't begin to imagine eternal separation from God because if they did, they would do everything that they could not to be eternally separated from him. Lord, help me. Help us, Lord, to help as many people as possible to begin to imagine the goodness of God, the new heavens, the new earth, and the horror of the second death of eternity separated from Jesus. The word for today is imagine. God bless. Check in tomorrow.